as the anus can act as a suction, which is why we hear so many reports of people getting things stuck at the hospital. So make sure you're doing so in a way that is safe, consensual, and everybody's on the same page. And don't forget lots of lube. What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel, and if you are new here, welcome. My name is Dr. Holly, and I am a sex and relationship therapist, and today I wanted to talk to you about orgasms. Yes, orgasms. Orgasms are often described as the peak of pleasure, this exquisite sensation that courses through our bodies and causes us to feel a state of euphoria. But what exactly is an orgasm? Well, in its simplest form, an orgasm is merely a series of rhythmic and involuntary contractions in the pelvic floor combined with a state or feeling of intense pleasure. And you may have heard of a couple different types of orgasms, but how many orgasms are there? Well, depends on who you ask, but based on research, I have found 16 types of orgasms that I want to tell you about. So let's jump right in. Let's start with one that you've probably already heard of, and that is the penile orgasm. This occurs through stimulation of the penis and is often, but not always, accompanied by ejaculation. Research shows that stimulation to the penis, whether it be manual stimulation, oral stimulation, or penetrative intercourse, can help a penis owner to achieve this type of orgasm. But remember, everybody is different, and so the way through which they would like to achieve penile orgasm is different and experiences vary greatly. Next, we have my personal favorite, the clitoral orgasm. The clitoral orgasm is achieved by applying stimulation directly or indirectly to the clitoris. According to research, the human clitoris has 10,000 nerve endings, which explains why clitoral orgasms can be so incredibly powerful. Additionally, research from 2017 shows that 36.6% of folks with vulvas require clitoral stimulation in order to achieve orgasm. Additionally, another 36% of folks with vulvas report that while clitoral stimulation is not required, it does make their experience of sex and orgasm better, which explains why the clitoris is so incredibly important in sexual pleasure and arousal for folks with vulvas. Then there's the vaginal orgasm. The vaginal orgasm is achieved by, you guessed it, vaginal penetration. And while it is often described as a subtler or less powerful orgasm compared to clitoral orgasms, that makes it no less significant. Everyone's experience is unique, and what feels good for one person might differ to another. So it's important to check with your partner and see what way they enjoy experiencing physical stimulation and what way they enjoy experiencing orgasm. Now let's talk anal orgasms. Many people report experiencing stronger orgasm sensations when engaging in anal sex play, in part due to the multitude of sensitive nerves in this area. Now, this can be achieved through external stimulation, such as rimming, or internal stimulation through the use of penetrative sex toys or body parts. The key here really comes down to comfort, communication, and consent. So if you're going to explore anal stimulation, it's important to talk openly about it with your partner and to use a body-safe material. If you're going to be engaging with toys, make sure you're using something that is made of a body-safe material and has a flared base, because the anus can act as a suction, which is why we see so many stories online about folks having accidents and ending up at the hospital. So make sure it's something that has a flared base if you're going to be using a toy. Additionally, make sure you're using lots of lube. And this is especially important because the anus is not naturally lubricating like the vagina or like your mouth. So again, if you're going to be experimenting with any type of Internal anal stimulation. Make sure you have comfort, consent, communication, and lots of lube. So we've talked about a few different parts of the body and how to experience orgasm, but what about orally? An oral orgasm is obtained from either kissing or from orally pleasuring another person. A person's lips also have a lot of nerve endings and can be highly sensitive. So yes, a sexy kiss can cause biological reactions, including the release of oxytocin. And we call oxytocin the cuddle hormone or the bonding hormone, and oxytocin is also one of the hormones that is released during orgasm. So some folks have found that extended, passionate kissing can lead to orgasm, while others have found that orally pleasuring somebody else can lead them to climax. Next is the G-spot. Now, there still remains some debate on whether or not this spot exists, but let's talk about it. The G-spot is an area of soft tissue that is known to be located inside the vagina a few centimeters up on the side of the body closest to the stomach. Now, the term G-spot was coined by Dr. Ernest Grafenberg in 1950. So yes, a male doctor discovered an area of pleasure within a female's body and decided to name it after himself. Now, buried inside the flesh here of a female's body are the Skene's glands. And in simplest terms, the Skene's glands can be thought of as the female equivalent of a prostate gland. The prostate is what is known to produce the watery substance in semen of males, while in females, the Skene's glands are thought of as what produce the watery substance that explains female ejaculation. The tissue surrounding these glands, which includes the part of a clitoris that reaches up inside the vagina, swells with blood during sexual arousal. And there's thought to be some evidence that nerves in that area produce an orgasm different than a clitoral or vaginal orgasm, which we know to be the G-spot orgasm. G-spot orgasms are said to be more intense than vaginal orgasms, but not as powerful as clitoral orgasms. In order to achieve a G-spot orgasm, you can insert the fingers into the vagina in sort of a curved come hitherto motion. Additionally, you can use toys that are curved in the same fashion that are recommended for G-spot stimulation. You could also, while engaging in penetrative stimulation, either with a partner or with fingers and toys, can tilt the hips up, either manually or by putting a pillow under the hips, under the bum there, just to give the angle to allow the pelvis to lift and allow more direct pressure of whatever you're using to penetrate against that area of the body known as the G-spot. It's important to note that these types of orgasms are not for everyone. So while the idea of female ejaculation might sound exciting or promising, not everyone experiences pleasure from this particular type of stimulation. Some note that G-spot orgasms can be incredibly pleasurable, while some report that stimulation of that area of the body can be uncomfortable or even painful. So make sure that you listen to your body and listen to your partner to do what is best for you. Similarly, cervical orgasms are not for everyone. Positioned at the lower end of the uterus, the cervix forms a connection between the uterus and the vaginal canal. It can feel like a firm, rounded structure with a small dimple or opening in the center, which is the cervical OS. This opening leads directly into the uterus and changes shape and texture from different phases of the menstrual cycle, childbirth, and sexual arousal. Now, when it comes to pleasure, the cervix has some unique qualities. It is surrounded by nerve endings that can create deeply emotional or even spiritual sensations for some individuals. And unlike the clitoris or the G-spot, which provide localized pleasure, cervical stimulation can resonate throughout the body, often described as a radiating or whole body experience. Cervical orgasms can occur through direct stimulation of this area, either through deep penetration or through specific techniques designed to engage the cervix. Because the cervix is located at the top of the vaginal canal, it requires deeper engagement, which can sometimes feel too intense, uncomfortable, or even painful for people. This is why communication, relaxation, and proper arousal are essential for exploring cervical stimulation. Now, according to the book Sexual Reflexology, Activating the Taoist Points of Love, the cervix is considered a woman's inner core. Thus, stimulating it can activate sexual energy pathways, allowing for the release of built-up tension. This can lead to profound emotional responses, heightened intimacy, and even full-body orgasms. For those curious about cervical orgasm, gentle exploration is key. It's best to approach this area with patience and care, ensuring that both arousal and trust are established. Whether through manual stimulation, specifically designed toys, or certain sexual positions that allow for deeper penetration, cervical exploration can be a transformative experience for some, though it is not for everyone. And that's perfectly okay. Ultimately, every individual's journey with their body and with orgasm is unique. Whether or not cervical orgasms are something you choose to explore, the most important thing is honoring you, your comfort, and your pleasure. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, Holly, what about my nipples? Yes, nipple orgasms are real. In fact, researchers at Rutgers University found that stimulation of the nipples activates the same areas in the brain as does genital stimulation. Nipples are sensitive erogenous zones, which are connected via energy channels to the clitoris in females and to the frenulum, or the very sensitive part on the penis that is below the head, on males. And according to the book, Healing Love Through Tao, Cultivating Female Sexual Energy, the kidney meridian passes through the breast, and when the nipples are stimulated, so too are the kidney and the bladder, which in turn can help to activate stimulation of the entire sexual glands. Thus, stimulation of the nipples can cause arousal to the whole genital area, and continued stimulation of the nipples can result in an actual orgasm. Now we're halfway through, which brings us to number 9, the prostate. The prostate is often referred to as the male G-spot and can be a source of incredible pleasure. The prostate is actually a gland that is about the size and shape of a walnut and is surrounding the urethra, or the tube through which the bladder empties urine. It is located in front of the rectum between the bladder and the penis. When the prostate gland is massaged, it's possible for the person experiencing the massage to have a type of orgasm called a prostate orgasm. And in order to stimulate the prostate, you can do this externally by applying pressure to the perineum, which is the area of tissue between the scrotum and the anus, or you can stimulate the prostate internally by inserting a finger or a specially designed prostate massager into the rectum and stimulating the gland directly. Number 10 is actually closely related to the last one that we described, the prostate orgasm, and that is going to be the perineum orgasm. Again, the perineum is that area of space on the body between the scrotum and the anus, and that little area of tissue is outside of where the internal prostate would be. So that perineum area can experience extreme pleasure if providing a gentle massage on the outside, usually with like pressure of the thumb is what I would recommend. And some folks report experiencing an orgasm just from that type of stimulation, which we would call a perineum orgasm. Number 11 is going to be the blended orgasm. And the blended orgasm is simply a combination of simultaneous stimulation of multiple erogenous zones at the same time to create this combined orgasm sensation. This can be done via, let's say, penile stimulation and anal stimulation simultaneously, or through, let's say, clitoral stimulation and vaginal stimulation, similarly to what we see when using a rabbit-style vibrator. But essentially, a blended orgasm is any type of combined orgasm. Techniques often include a combination of manual, oral, or penetrative stimulation. So this is a chance for folks who want a little bit extra or like a little bit here and a little bit there to combine to create this peak of pleasure in their experience. I wanted to save this portion of the video for even lesser known types of orgasms. So let's get into it with the A-spot. The A-spot is also known as the anterior fornix or the AFE zone. This area was first described in the 1920s in Marie Stopes' book Contraception, where she noted it as a potential area for arousal when touched. Fast forward to 1997, Dr. Chua conducted a study that further legitimized the A-spot existence when he discovered that during his research on vaginal dryness, A-spot massage not only increased lubrication for his participants, but also seemed to pique their arousal. So where exactly is the A-spot? It's located deep within the vaginal canal at the highest point of the front wall, just above the cervix. This is the area where the vaginal wall starts to curve upward, nestled between the uterus and the rectum. This area is packed with sensitive nerves, making it an area worth exploring for some people. But as with every other orgasm described today, it really depends on what feels most comfortable for you and your partner. Now let's dive into the U-spot. The U-spot refers to the area around the urethra, which is the passage through which urine exits the bladder. What makes this area so interesting is that it is surrounded by urethral sponge, a sensitive area packed with nerve endings that can be stimulated to produce orgasm. Because in folks with vulvas, the urethra is located right in the middle of the clitoral region, stimulating the U-spot can often trigger a clitoral type orgasm. This area responds well to gentle touch, whether through manual stimulation or through the use of toys designed for precise contact. Now, what if you could experience orgasm while working out? Well, this brings me to what is known as the coregasm. As the name suggests, this type of orgasm is linked to working out and specifically doing exercises that engage your lower abdominal and core muscles. The idea is by raising your heart rate and focusing on these muscle groups, you can increase blood flow to the genital area, which can result in an orgasmic sensation. This concept is explored in detail by researcher Dr. Debbie Herbenick in her book, The Coregasm Workout. There, she explains that certain exercises like abdominal crunches and glute bridges seem to be particularly effective in triggering these sensations, especially for women. And I recall from in my college days, one of my friends on dance team was like, I can't keep doing these crunches because it makes me feel like I'm going to have an orgasm. So yes, people do report experiencing orgasm or experiencing orgasm-like sensations while engaging in abdominal workouts. If you're curious about trying this out, the key is to stay mindful of your body during your workout. And if you do try this out, let me know if you have a six-pack yet. Number 15, and here's a fascinating one. Did you know that some people can bring themselves to orgasm just by thinking about it? That's right, no physical stimulation required. Sexologist and author of Urban Tantra, Barbara Carrella, actually demonstrated this ability in a study conducted at Rutgers University. Researchers placed her inside of an MRI machine to observe her brain activity as she thought herself to orgasm. The results? They found that parts of her brain lit up and responded just as they would during a physically stimulated orgasm. It's an incredible reminder of just how powerful the mind can be when it comes to pleasure and how important it is for us to tune in to our biggest sex organ, the brain. Now, some people have ultra-sensitive erogenous zones in unexpected places, like the back of the knees or the crease of the elbows, or even right behind the ears. For them, exploring these places can lead to orgasmic sensations, showing that pleasure truly knows no bounds, especially not the restrictive bounds of just the genitals. When this happens with a specific zone or area of the body, we call this a zonegasm. One incredible example of how this works is through the story of a quadriplegic man who actually discovered how to experience orgasm through stimulation of his thumb. In his story, he even refers to his thumb as his surrogate penis. This highlights just how adaptable and creative the human body can be when it comes to finding and experiencing pleasure. Ultimately, it's all about exploring your body and different zones that feel good to you, and knowing that pleasure is not a one-size-fits-all experience. And here we are, the last one, number 17. Yes, I snuck in a little bonus one, but here we are with number 17. The final orgasm that I will share from research is the birthgasm. Yes, I said it, a birthgasm. So research actually shows that some birthing folks report that they have experienced an orgasm while giving birth. The pushing involved in the labor process simulates erogenous areas that can result in unexpected climax. In fact, a 2013 survey by Sexologies, the European Journal of Sexual Health, found that midwives reported witnessing orgasmic births in approximately 0.3% of their clients. So yes, it is possible to experience an orgasm even through childbirth. And that's it, 17 types of orgasms. Are there more? Maybe. If you've experienced one of these or one not on the list, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about any other types of orgasms that are out there. Exploring these 17 types of orgasms helps to remind us of the amazing diversity in human pleasure. Everybody is unique and there is no right way to experience orgasm. It's also important to note that orgasm isn't necessary to have a great sexual experience. Whether you're exploring solo or with a partner, what matters most is curiosity, communication, and pleasure. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to help me bring more information directly to you. Have any questions or topics that you'd like me to cover in a future video? By all means, please comment below and let me know. I would love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and remember, you deserve to have a healthy, happy, and pleasurable life. Anterior fornix or AFV, the anterior fornix or AFV, why do I keep saying AFV? Stronger orgasm sensations with anal play, in part due to the multitude of sensitive oh, I hate being sick. I need an orgasm to cure my illness.